or what has kind of drawn you into or like promoted your study of sex positivity in your life?
I feel like you can't even start a conversation about sex positivity without bringing up like Dan Savage.
Reading Dan Savage's sex columns was really fantastic because he's very rational, and so he's the type of person that I really respect as when things don't work anymore by logic. He's very careful to point that out.
Another one would be Chelsea Handler, because just with, you know, all of her frankness about sexuality on her show, and then the books that she's had about, you know, My Horizontal Life. Augustin Burroughs, because reading his book, Running with Scissors, and then
Fantastic book, you should check it out.
Yes, very great books.
For me though, I also have like kind of three big ones. One is Lacey Green, who has a web series called Sex Plus, and she gives a very good like female perspective. And then I really love Dean MacArthur from One Girl, Five Gays, and he is kind of the most like sex positive person on that entire panel ever. And then honestly, like my last one is Corey, because Corey and I was such a different person before I met Corey, which of course will reinforce whatever my parents are thinking about how Corey's a corrupting influence. But you know, Corey just made me a lot more comfortable with who I am. I don't know, so it's a big deal. And also, yeah, you're just wonderful and I love you. I love you too.
But weirdly enough, the thing that I feel like was helpful most for me in coming to my sex positive stance was just my personal experience. Like the way that my sexuality developed and the timing of how that happened, and the people that were in my life, both male and female, that kind of brought me to that realization was unique. And in a lot of ways, it was kind of what reaffirmed for me what sex positivity can be and what is missing from a lot of the mostly sex negative conversation that's happening in the community that I grew up in. So Corey, question for you. How does being HIV positive affect the way that you deal with sex positivity? Does it at all?
I feel like I've learned a lot from my sexual history, and I've learned a lot from the experience of, you know, getting tested and learning that I was positive, because if nothing else, you know, that's enough of something to shake your reality and make you realize, you know, what's really important in life. And even though, you know, it's very treatable and it's not a death sentence by any means, and I live a perfectly healthy lifestyle, you know, I take medication every day, but where I'm at now with my, you know, coping with being HIV positive is I want to help people. I want to educate people that there shouldn't be a stigma attached to being positive, you know.
What do you want viewers to take away from this video?
Explore it more, research it more, learn more about it, because I know that whatever we say, we're not going to say enough, we're not going to say it the perfect way.
Right.
And there is so much information out there, and check out the people we mentioned, check out the books we've mentioned, check out just stuff and get used to it.
Depending on your age range, I mean, ask your parents about sex. If they don't want to talk to you, ask someone else who you trust and who you respect their opinion. If you're a little bit older, talk to your friends, because, you know, your friends can be some of your best allies.
Well, I think that one of the things that's most important for viewers to take away from this is that sex positivity is not about forcing yourself to like sex or forcing yourself to want to talk about sex.
Or to have sex before you're ready.
Exactly,
to have sex.
Bingo. And so, you know, what I want viewers to take away from this is that we have three people here who all identify with sex positivity in a big way, and who have come from somewhat similar but in a lot of ways very different backgrounds, and have come to this, you know, conclusion kind of separately. So everyone's experience is going to be different in the way that they deal with sex positivity. So I think that, for me, is the biggest takeaway that I want people to have, is that we're not trying to prescribe that anybody have sex in the same way that everyone else is having sex at all, even if that means not having sex until you feel comfortable. It's more about just being open and able to talk about that.
How boring would it be if you had the same sex as everyone else?
Well, thank you, Corey, so much for doing this. Thank you, Sarah, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye!